Pursuant to the rule, the gentlewoman from Pennsylvania, Ms. Scanlon, and the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Davis, each will control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentlewoman from Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and include extraneous material in the measure under consideration.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentlewoman is recognized.
This bill, by creating statues in the Capitol, honors former Supreme Court Justices Sandra Day O'Connor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 2 women who made groundbreaking contributions to American history and jurisprudence. The United States Capitol is a global symbol of democracy. This iconic building where we debate and craft law is also a museum of American art and history with a rich collection of portraits, paintings, and statues. Among the hundreds of sculptures, just 14 honor women leaders. By adding statues of these 2 pioneering Supreme Court justices, we will honor their legacy and inspire all who pass through these halls. In 1869, Arabella Mansfield became the first woman admitted to practice law in the United States when she was admitted to the Iowa bar. 10 years later, Belva Lockwood became the first woman admitted to practice before the Supreme Court of the United States. 100 years would pass before Sandra Day O'Connor became the first woman to serve on the Supreme Court of the United States. Born in the early 1930s, Sandra Day O'Connor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg both achieved extraordinary academic success. One of only 5 women in her class at Stanford Law, O'Connor served on the board of editors of the Stanford Law Review and graduated near the top of her class. Ginsburg first attended Harvard Law School, one of 9 women in her class. She became the first female member of the Harvard Law Review, while also caring for her husband, who had been diagnosed with cancer, and their young daughter. When her husband took a job in New York City, Ginsburg transferred to Columbia Law School and graduated first in her class. Despite their outstanding academic qualifications, O'Connor and Ginsburg faced barriers to employment after graduation, as law firms were unwilling to hire women lawyers. Each persevered and rose to prominence. O'Connor obtained a position as a deputy county attorney in California. Then, when her husband was stationed in Germany, she served as a civilian attorney with the United States Army Quartermaster Corps. In 1957, the O'Connors settled in Arizona, where they raised their 3 sons. O'Connor started a law practice, became involved in local politics and community service, and served as an assistant state attorney general. In 1969, O'Connor was appointed to the Arizona State Senate, where she was twice reelected and became the first woman majority leader in any state. In 1974, she was elected as a trial judge, a position she held until 1979, when she was appointed to the Arizona Court of Appeals. In 1981, President Ronald Reagan fulfilled his campaign promise to appoint a woman to the Supreme Court by nominating O'Connor. The Senate unanimously confirmed her appointment. In her nearly 25 years on the court, Justice O'Connor established herself as a pragmatic, independent voice. In a 1982 case, O'Connor wrote the majority opinion holding that the state could not prevent men from enrolling in an all-women's nursing school. She wrote that laws discriminating on the basis of sex are allowed only if there is an exceedingly persuasive justification, free of archaic and stereotypic notions of the roles and abilities of males and females. Justice O'Connor retired from the Supreme Court in 2006. In retirement, she remained active as a tireless advocate for judicial independence and civics education. Following law school, Ginsburg served as a law clerk to Judge Edmund L. Palmieri of the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. She then became associate director of a comparative law project sponsored by Columbia University before joining the faculty of Rutgers Law School in 1963. From 1972 to 1980, she taught at Columbia Law School, where she became the first female tenured professor. In the 1970s, Ginsburg also served as a fellow at the Center for Advanced Study in the Behavioral Sciences in Stanford, California, and as the director of the Women's Rights Project of the American Civil Liberties Union. In this position, she led the fight against gender discrimination and won 5 landmark cases before the Supreme Court. In 1980, President Carter appointed Ginsburg to the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. In 1993, President Clinton nominated Ginsburg as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. The Senate confirmed her nomination by a vote of 96-3, and she became the second female and the first Jewish female to serve on the court. Justice Ginsburg was a strong voice for gender equality and voting rights. She authored the landmark majority opinion in United States versus Virginia, which held that the state-supported Virginia Military Institute could not refuse to admit women. Justice Ginsburg served on the Supreme Court for 27 years until her death in September 2020. It is difficult to overstate the importance of these two justices as role models and inspiration for generations of American girls, women, and women lawyers. Justice O'Connor was sworn in as the first female Supreme Court justice the same month that I started law school, and I had the privilege of working with both justices on issues of civic education and access to justice. Both women were brilliant and funny. They were stars on the bench and in our national firmament. Now we're presented with another moment of equal significance with the nomination of Judge Jackson under consideration in the Senate. One more barrier has fallen, and soon young women of color will be able to see themselves in future Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson, as I once saw myself in Justices O'Connor and Ginsburg. Today, I ask my colleagues to honor these incredible women, Justice O'Connor and Justice Ginsburg, and help inspire our next generation of leaders by voting to create these statues for the Capitol of the United States. I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman from Pennsylvania reserves. The gentleman from Illinois is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support